You gonna introduce me or do I introduce myself?
Well, I was going to, but if you want to introduce yourself, because I was going to tell some crazy stories. No, I'm not going to do that. But hey, Universal Unilink fans, members, if you're watching this, Brian and I are just having a really good time discussing all kinds of strategy before we went live. But you are in for a treat with Brian today. He's going to be talking about how to get 2026 off to a great start by showcasing some really interesting products and services that Starline has put together for you. So just a little bit of housekeeping. We do have in your control panel, you should see a thing that says questions. So I want you to try to look for that right now. But if you have questions during Brian's presentation, ask them there and we'll circle back at the end and make sure that you get your questions answered. So without further ado, Brian, take it away and let us know what's going on with Starline.
All right, thanks, Marty. I also believe that I'm Marty's favorite supplier rep, but that's neither here nor there. So, dedicated team. I like to start with the who to call, where to go. So I'm Brian DeBatis. I'm the VP of Strategic Accounts with Starline. Brian Porter's not here today, but Ellie Robertson, she's probably the most important person on the team. She's your day in, day out, first outreach for anything pre-sale, virtuals, ideas, quotes, anything like that that you need to help seal the deal. Ellie Robertson is the person that you should be reaching out to. So as I do all these big events and I stand in booths for trade shows, I feel like back in the day, it was more what's new from a product perspective, but a lot of people today are asking me what's new from a service perspective. And the service that we put out there about 2 years ago that's been the most impactful for us has been on demand or a one-piece minimum program. So if you haven't considered selling one piece at a time yet, good for you, I guess. If you have, or if you're being asked by clients, I have an option for you. But first and foremost, I want to let you know, I do not have an e-commerce platform to sell one piece at a time. You use your own platform. You'd sell those one-piece orders any way that you want. And I would say the biggest way that people are using one-piece minimum at this point is onboarding. I think a lot of clients have big ideas about onboarding where they're going to hire so many people, but a lot of times that falls short. So this is kind of a customized, one piece. It doesn't have to just be one piece. You onboard a new employee, you can get them a water bottle, you can get them a cooler bag, maybe a duffel or a backpack, and now instead of a one-piece order, you have a three-piece order, one of each item. So if you go to starline.com, I've got about 50 products. This has grown for us, up from about 20 when we started to over 50 products now, one piece at a time. If you're going to do an on-demand program, you want to run this, we should talk. You should call me. We can have a good conversation about this, but I just want you to know that I do it. It's a little bit different than our regular orders, a little bit more expensive, setup's a little bit different, but at the end of the day, it can be done. If you don't have an e-commerce platform that you like, there is one out there that Vantage has created. And if you go to the Vantage web stores, you'll notice you look at the different choices of products, you'll see Starline products on them. So Starline is a hard good supplier on the Vantage web store. Vantage web stores aren't free, but they are very nicely made, thoughtfully put together. And like I said, on the hard goods on the Vantage web store if you don't have one of choice. Highlights. So from a service perspective, a couple highlights here. I did talk about on demand. I'm going to send over to Marty a PDF of this PowerPoint so that it will be on file for you guys so you have all this information. But right there in the middle, 2.0, that is our kind of new way to do larger than standard size full color decoration on drinkware. So look at the Valvoline bottle on the back. That's a full wrap, top to bottom, step and repeat. Look at the Benchmade logo in the front on the gray product. It doesn't have to, you don't have to have that negative space in between the logo aspects. I can just run that ink all the way around the drinkware piece. So a half wrap is $3, a full wrap is $5. That's available on 30 or so drinkware pieces in the line. You'll notice it's all the pretty cylindrical stuff. And then on the right, this was brand new as we kind of went down the pipe last year as we got into Q3, but we're offering 4-color process on all of our handled drinkware. Handles are king. handles have been the king for a while, driven mainly by Stanley brand, but even the Stanley Quencher 30, 40 ounce, I can put a 4-color process logo on that piece. The run chart is $1, normal setup $60, standard lead time 5 days from proof approval. And I would say in general that, you know, people are coming to Starline for 2 reasons. The main reason is quality. All of our products, we focus on a little bit higher quality, and then even the brand partners that we bring in, and we'll talk more about those. Quality first. The second thing I believe that people come to Starline for is service. I think we're really good at customer service. I'm on the promotional products professionals page on Facebook, and I see a lot of people taking shots at suppliers that I thought used to be really good at service. So if you haven't used us before, come give us a try. A service that we've offered for a long time is personalization. We made it free during COVID, and I think people were using personalization differently then than they are now. I think then it was about keeping stuff separate, don't touch my drinkware piece, etc. Now it's delightful, I think, to have your name on a product. If you work for somebody or you're at an event and you show up and there's your name is on a drinkware piece or your name is on a cooler, I just think that's pretty awesome, pretty special, and people appreciate that extra level. And I've read report after report from PPAI that says personalized gift experiences are king. That's just our interpretation of it. So you want to give Starline a try, see how our service looks or our quality looks. I think the best way to go about that is Spec 15. So each of you out there in Universal Unilink Nation, each sales professional can order 5 Spec 15 on drinkware. So basically, any drinkware piece in my line, doesn't have to be the one on the screen. You can make a $15 spec sample. That's a shipped price. So that's the drinkware piece, the logo, personalization, add that underneath the logo, shipping, all in, 15 bucks. What's special about this program is on the back end, we're going to go ahead and we're going to make you a deck of virtuals. We're going to use the logo that you gave us for the spec sample. We're going to pick other products that we think are relevant. We're going to email that out after the fact. So a lot of times you guys are overwhelmed. You order some spec samples. They might sit in your office for a while if you have them shipped to you. Good reminder to put it back out there. Maybe it ships right to the client. They didn't call you. They didn't say they got something special in the mail. So it's a good reminder for you to reach out to them. So we want to hit people with multiple touch points over a period of time to get maximum results out of Spec 15. So that spec sample offer runs Q1, Q2, Q3. Different this year. We're going to have special guest appearances every 2-month stretch over the course of the year. So January and February, there'll be a Spec 15 special. That's SimGlass and Posca. I'll talk more about those guys in a second. The next 2-month stretch is going to be cooler bags. Then maybe we'll move to a flashlight or an electronics piece. So we want to keep the Spec 15 going by offering different offerings over the course of the year. So I have a page dedicated to both of these, SimGlass, but SimGlass is an Unbreakable Glass alternative. Same thing. Pick any SimGlass piece, $15 shipped, max 5 per sales rep. And then Posca is a draw on anything paint marker. We're doing a 4-pack for $15 shipped. There is a neon colored 4-pack and a metallic colored 4-pack that you can choose from. But I've got a page dedicated to each of these brands right here that we'll talk about. Digital publications. So I have a catalog, 2026 catalog. It's digital only this year. That was because of price fluctuations. We will go back to a printed catalog if all goes well in Q4 of this year. But we also make another digital publication. That's our trends report. So any of the little tips and tricks that we kind of acquire over the course of being out in the field and talking to people and doing sales calls and attending trade shows and looking at our analytics on what products are clicked on, that's all in the trends report. So these topics here are kind of, what we decided to put forth in this report. It's a 4 to 6 page flip catalog, very easy to get through, a nice little resource to send to your clients. And this kind of stemmed through the gifting season last year. We thought that it would be helpful to make a convenient custom kitting program. So it's pretty simple. And if you know Starline, you know what we like to do at Starline is the cooler is the kit, right? The cooler is the box. And I think that's a little bit eco-friendly, right? We're not printing a paper box that goes inside of a box, so that the cooler, for the most part, is your packaging. So the way this works is you pick a bag. Would be a cooler bag. Some of our duffels are in here too. Then you add a tumbler, then you add another item. So I think some of the options you'll see there are flashlights or electronics pieces. And then you put it all together, choose a shipping method, and that's kind of your custom kit scenario. I will say that my cooler bags are one of the biggest parts of my growth over the past couple of years. My Urban Peak cooler bags are guaranteed leak proof. So they have a liner on the inside that, I'm not kidding, you could take your water bottle, fill it up with water, zipper up the top, and let it sit on your counter, and it's not going to leak. That's how leak proof they are. We do a 1-year guarantee against leaking on those kind of products. Urban Peak is and Starline is 38% or so brand sales. Urban Peak is my house brand. So Urban Peak is a mark of excellence among the products within Starline. Started on drinkware. All that drinkware is from a very specific factory. Then we kind of brought that over to the cooler bag side of things. Again, one specific factory that creates our highest end cooler bags. And we've kind of moved that Urban Peak name brand across other categories to show you what our top quality is across the line. So some seasonal trends, and this is kind of where we are from a marketing focus. Q1, employee appreciation, that kind of, you got your gifting at the end of Q4, but then I think employee appreciation is always important throughout the course of the year. There's a kit that we're showing here on this screen. Again, personalized for free on drinkware and bags. So any drinkware piece, any bag, it does not cost anything extra to give me the names of all the people that you want to give something to in a spreadsheet, and then I drop them on the drinkware piece and on the bags. So keep that in mind, free personalization from Starline. Roadside Safety, and so the product that's on the screen here is one of 3 unique products, in my opinion, tire inflators that we are doing very well with. This one also happens to be a jump starter, and this is the highest price point of the 3. This one comes in at $107. So basically you connect this to your tire, set the PSI level, press a button, boom, brings it right to that level. Also can jump your car with this. It's got a very high voltage that can crank that engine. Now, there are 2 other pieces. The EL219 is my best-selling tire inflator in the line. It is $60, and it's just been fire for us the last couple of years. But it doesn't jumpstart a car; it just inflates the tires. I'm big on brands. I mentioned it before. 35, 38%, somewhere in there, a percentage of my sales are brands. Whether it's Stanley or Uniball or Frostbuddy, which is one you might not know of. Upper right-hand corner, this is Frostbuddy. This is a universal can cooler. So basically, you open this up. You can put a skinny can in there. You can put a regular can, a bottle. There's a little insert inside. If you pull it, you can put a 16-ounce can in there or a water bottle. To me, very good product all the way around. That is Frostbuddy. All right, I told you I'd talk to you about Posca markers. These are huge in the art community, and they are owned by a Uniball company. Uniball sells more Posca markers than they do Uniball pens, which kind of took me a minute to wrap my head around that. These are draw on anything, whether it's a water bottle from a Starline or a shoe from one of the many shoe manufacturers out there in our promotional products industry, or a towel or a hat. Or if you've got little kids at home and you want to, you send them to school with their backpack and their water bottle and their jacket, and you want to write their name on the inside. So these, if it's on fabric, it can be washed a couple dozen times. And we're kind of pioneering this, so we think that this is kind of a fun new angle for us. And that's on the Spec 15 special. You can choose one of these 4-packs. They come in a pouch. You can see the pouch on the screen here. We decorate the pouch, and then you get the markers on the inside. I just had a client that did an event at an art museum that had about a $20 spend for every attendee, and they gave everybody that showed up a 4-pack of those metallic marker sets that I'm showing in the upper left-hand corner there. Another new brand partner that is also owned by Uniball is Lami. Lami is a German-made pen. And these guys are big on the fountain pen. They're bringing the fountain pen back. So you can see in the upper left-hand corner here, you've got the nib at the bottom, but instead of you're not dipping this in ink, this is flowing from a cartridge on the inside with a little window here. You can kind of see how much ink is left over. They don't just offer fountain pens. They have roller balls and stylus pens, and this Pico ballpoint, you press the top and it extends into a full-size pen. It's some fun, different stuff, but this design, this look here, whether it's metal or plastic, like you're seeing at the bottom, combined with the fountain tip, is their best-selling option, best-selling thing that they do. And I kind of put them between like a really high-end pen and then like your everyday day in, day out pen. They're going to be, the average price point for their best sellers is about 40 bucks. ClearPath is my overseas option. So, you know, any of the product kind of that you see on the screen here, the dye sublimated, 4-color process stuff, whether it's a sock or a lanyard or a hat, I can do this. I've got about 15 or so different product angles that we have shown on our website if you click the ClearPath page, and would love to, you know, get on board with you if this is the kind of stuff that you're doing. This is 30 days, low minimum, overseas, landed price. Towels and blankets, new category for me last year. So and this is something that we've been trying to get into for a long time. We've had a you know, small amount of blankets. Never carried towels. We think this kind of rounds our line off a little bit. And I would say, even if you say, oh, great, you know, I don't need another blanket or towel supplier, we get a ton of product like this sent into Starline to put into kits. So where I think you'll maybe see or find the biggest impact from us is on our kitting page, where maybe it's a golf kit. We see a golf towel combined with a universal can cooler like that Frost Buddy that I showed you, and maybe a cooler bag. And that's an all-in price for a kit like that. So towels and blankets across the line, nice category for us. This is another category that we dipped our toes in about 2 years ago, and we found a really nice success here. So personal care essentials. I'm just gonna put all the products on the screen all at once here. I got my little, you know, animation there, but this is stuff that people are using in their own personal life. It's not for work, doesn't go on their desk, doesn't help them do their job better, helps them live better. And this has been one of the biggest areas of growth that we've seen in a while. So you've got anything from a cordless hair trimmer to a blood pressure monitor to the Reebok cold plunge tub, but even some of these kits, the nail trimming kits at the bottom, and even the electric toothbrush. This has been a really nice category for us. You know, oftentimes I'm asked, what's different? What's new? I don't know, it's hard to be new on the drinkware side of things. It's hard to be new on the cooler bag side, but this category to me is new and different, and it's a good place to go when you're making suggestions. We want to be more sustainable. We want to do a better job by the earth. I think we've done a lot of things over the past couple years that have led us there. First and foremost, our factory is powered by the sun completely. Secondarily, we have products in our newer, about 3 years old, Earth Trends category that I would say average about 80–85% post-consumer material. So whether it's recycled polyester, like you see in this dry bag here, recycled stainless steel. We have a brand called Boom Pods that uses a lot of plastics from recycled contact lens containers. Believe it or not, this is a growing category for us. So where I might have 30 products in the Earth Trends category, I have about 50 products total that have some level of post-consumer material that they're made out of. We talked about Uniball owning Lami. We talked about Uniball owning Posca. Let's talk about Uniball. Uniball is the maker of the pen that has Uni Super Ink in it. What is Uni Super Ink? That is an ink that when you write on a check or you sign a document or you sign a contract, that ink cannot be removed by water or acetone. We like to call that a secure writing experience. Who loves that? Banks, financial institutions, insurance, law firms, the medical industry, where they're still using pens. But I think if you look at title industry, real estate, if you look at those industries, you might want to show them Uniball. I've got a Spec 15 program going on Uniball as well. Pick any Uniball pen. I would probably start with the 207 gel pen, and then we'll make 12 of those for you, ship them, 15 bucks all in. If anybody here is from Canada, all the specials that I mentioned, we offer in Canada. They're called Spec 20. If anybody ships into Canada, I can do that. For a US-based distributor, I can ship into Canada. We have a truck that goes over the border a couple times a week. What that means for you is I drop that stuff off in Canada. You do not pay international shipping, and you know, there's no there's no duties going back in. There will be taxes, but no duties going back in. SimGlass, we've got one page here dedicated to SimGlass. This is an amazing product because when I show it to you on the screen, you're like, all right, Brian, nice plastic cup for $11.50 on a C. Yeah, it is a plastic cup. No, it won't break. It's not acrylic, so you don't get crazing if you were to put this in the dishwasher. I can laser engrave it. I can 4-color process decorate this. But when I'm at an event and I'm in front of people, I literally bounce it off the ground. It's loud and it bounces right back up into my hand. And I think that's where you get them. So if you want to show this to somebody, and this comes in a pint glass, comes in a rocks glass, champagne flute. There's different options here, but what you're going to get is people are going to realize what this is when they get it in their hands. USA made, made in Tennessee. These guys started in 2 industries. The first one is the restaurant industry, and then the second one is gift shops. So hotel gift shops was a really good area for this type of product. But if you're looking at, you know, boating industry, RV, camping, outdoors, sporting events, not necessarily in a stadium, but tailgating scene, I think this is a winner all the way around. We talked about kits. This is where you'll see some of the towels and blankets added into the kits. We have a whole page for kits on our website. So, you know, more and more people are looking to us for kitting. All right, some fun new drinkware. This one is a little bit different. This is a pretty small piece. It is 15 ounces. Notice some different color from us this time around: baby blue, light green, sand, black, white. But what's special about this is this is a slide lid, back and forth. You saw the slide, but underneath here, I can unscrew the plunger, and then on the inside, it is very easy to clean this out. So you can completely clean it out. I would say plungers were the gold standard in keeping things hot or cold before everybody wanted the clear lid from the beginning of the Yeti phase, right? Yeti did a clear lid. Everybody jumped to clear lids kind of across the industry, across product types, even the Stanley style. This is fun and different. This is not just a 20-ounce tumbler. What's different here is the top, the lid. This straw, you can push it down in the drinkware piece. See how that pops back up? You push it down, put the flap over, press that flap down, and then you can drink out of it without the straw. That is made possible by a silicone part that is attached to the bottom of the straw. So that silicone there smushes down when you push it down into the hole. So drink with your straw, drink out of the wider opening. The choice is yours. Comes in a 30-ounce piece as well. I don't need to show you how that works. I just did. And then this water bottle here we thought was kind of fun. So this is not a chugger bottle. This has a straw on the inside. Comes with 2 straws. So you got your locked position, and then you slide this up in your open position. That pops open. Drink, straw, close down. Finger loop is a pretty popular detail on a lot of my water bottles. This comes in those fun colors, but it did not come in black. So as we got a little bit deeper into the self-care category, the supplier that we buy the stuff from in the self-care category carries Sealy products. So Sealy is kind of where it all began on the self-care side of things, but Sealy has a lot of personal fans that they were offering to us. Most of these personal fans had a nice decoration area, which was really appealing. A lot of them are white, which creates a nice bold look when you decorate them. But you will see a collection of personal fans from Starline. This one is a little bit smaller, desktop, really good airflow. This guy here, the telescoping handle on it, comes in a box, you know, normal size box, but you can either use it as a desk fan, or you can extend that pole and you can set it next to you, and it's more of a stand-up fan. But you know, these are USB rechargeable, so they're great on the move if you're traveling. You want to bring one into your hotel room if you travel a lot and you're often finding yourself warm. And then this one has a little bit of a mister attached to it. So the top is a reservoir, also has some cool LED lights in there, but you turn this on and it will let that water drip into the fan and kind of mist to cool you down a little bit faster. The handle's a nice touch, has kind of a cool retro look to it, in my opinion. When it comes to electronics, we got a really nice new set of active noise cancellation headphones. That's what ANC means. So, you know, you remember the Bose headphones when you go on the plane, you press the button, you get the white noise. That's what this is. These are rechargeable, very comfortable. They take 4-color process on the side of the piece. Pickleball is all the rage. Again, brand partner, Spalding, 2-piece pickleball set, paddles. Paddles are, if you're into pickleball, you're into paddles, right? If you want to know, you want the good paddles, you don't necessarily want the cheapest. I get some of the lowest price point stuff out there for just spreading the love, getting people involved in the game, but for maybe a more serious player, a more brand name, higher price point piece might be in line for somebody like that. When I started at Starline 20 years ago, we were the kings of barbecue sets. You needed a barbecue set, you came to me. That has waned a bit. We still do carry barbecue sets. Some of the pieces that were in the line 20 years ago, they're still in the line. This is a holdover. This has been around, but we freshened it up by doing the black case, right? Instead of a stainless colored case, we did the black case, and we did the black handles on the tools, the black chrome, and then you've got the black felt liner. So just kind of freshened it up a little bit different. This is 4-color process right here. So you could bleed this thing edge to edge. If you wanted to make this black and put the logo inside the black, yeah, no problem. We can do that. I sell a boatload of vacuum food jars, and right now they all come from Stanley. So I've got 2 Stanley pieces in the line, and they're expensive, 50 bucks. They're nice, but this is my own piece. We developed this one. What this doesn't have that you see on a lot of other pieces is a bowl integrated into it. But what we decided to do was we made the opening really wide. A lot of the retail pieces, they do a not as wide of an opening so they can make the cap a bowl and it fits on top. But here we just did a cap. Inside the cap, you'll get a spoon. The spoon kind of tri-folds and fits in there nicely. I think this is going to be a home run for us at 22 bucks. I really do. We carry a lot of pens. I showed you Lami. I showed you Uniball. Missing part of our line was journals, notebooks. So we're going to offer 3 different styles, maybe 4 different styles here, a couple different sizes. We've got a 5x7. This one's got a recycled polyurethane top to it, so that recycled material. And then the paper is responsibly sourced. That's what FSC certified means. So it's sourced from trees that are cut down in a responsible manner, right? Like cut one down, plant 10 type of thing, where you're going to replenish the trees for the paper. And then this is the same product, but 5.5 by 8.25, a little bit bigger. You'll have a pen loop on these. You'll have the elastic that kind of keeps them closed. I thought this one was pretty nice. So this is the cover, kind of cool. That's the bonded polyurethane. So that's kind of like scraps when they make a full polyurethane sheet. So if they cut it and there's a bunch of scraps on the side, they mix all those again with a material, and then they bond it to the back of like cardboard. So you get that feel. It's you know, that stuff, those scraps are typically garbage. So here, that's going to be part of the Earth Trends category, because that will not be garbage. It'll be the cover of the notebook. Here you've got recycled felt and cork on the bottom. Really like the way this one feels. Nice, soft, warm feel on that piece. And then finally you'll have the recycled felt. And this one it's more like a Padfolio, if you've ever seen, where it's got like a wood edge to it, just a little bit like beefier and heavier. But again, it's a notebook. From the bag side of things, and we're getting close to the end, the finish line here. Jansport is a brand partner of ours, new bag for those guys. You've got the kind of double water bottle holders, which I think is pretty cool, because people don't always use them for 2 water bottles. It's like maybe like a Bluetooth speaker or an umbrella and then a water bottle. So having that extra holder on the outside to me is important. Jansport, high quality brand. We've been partners with them for quite some time. This is a shopping tote, insulated shopping tote. This is not my Urban Peak leak-proof liner. This is a more traditional liner, still in the Urban Peak family, but this is if you're going on a picnic or you're going to the beach with something a little bit cool that you want to keep cool. If you're going shopping and you want to bring your ice cream or your frozen popsicles home in something other than the bag you have from the store. We've had a lot of success with this piece. We brought in gray as a secondary color. It was only white before. Gray, as you know, that'll wear a little bit better from a getting dirty perspective. Flashlights are huge for Starline, and while I have, I guess what you would think is a more traditional flashlight that you hold in your hand with a bezel and a light out the end, I've got many of those. But where we have really beefed up our line is we're a good work light company. There's 6 new total work lights here or lanterns, I would say I've got about 20 work lights or lanterns currently in my line. So the first two have a similar theme. That little arm that is coming out the bottom, you can bend that and it'll stay in any shape, which is kind of cool if you're working on a project and you need, maybe you don't have a kid or a husband or a wife to hold the flashlight for you, right? Keep it aimed right at what you're working on. So I've got 2 iterations of that, just 2 different price points, $21, $23. This one's a little bit beefier, a little bit bigger in stature. This is kind of taking on that fan approach, but if you flip this upside down, you can hang it off of the handle that comes with it. And on the bottom of that piece is a solar panel. So outdoor camping, tailgating enthusiasts, stay cool, get a little bit of light from this lantern, and recoup your charge during the day with the solar panel. So good outdoor product. Again, lantern, you can hang it upside down. You can, those panels pop out. This is not the first time we've done a pop-out panel piece. The last piece that we did, the FL189, was very popular. This is just a little bit kind of more compact, I guess. And then the last 2 are just going to be like a big, broad LED light that'll create, it's almost like an LED ring light when you have it in your office. It just creates a lot of ambient light. This does the same thing, 2 different sizes, the 20 watt. The 60 watt is way bigger. If I would put the dims on here, you'll notice it's a whole lot bigger. So I am going to escape out of here, and I'm just going to double check the audience view here. Make sure you're looking at starline.com. Okay, we are. I want to show you a tip here, and I will be off in 2 minutes. So big question we get from our clients when they're on our website is inventory, right? How much stock do you have? And there used to be a more difficult way to do that. Now there's an easier way to do that. First and foremost, you do not have to log in to do anything I'm about to show you. You just walk up to the website, start using it. So you saw what I did. I ticked this box, inventory enable. On any product category page you click that, you will see exactly how many unsold pieces we have in our line. To me, this is incredibly useful. As you're scrolling through the website, do not make the mistake of selling somebody an out-of-stock product. Maybe it's out of stock. When's it coming back in? Big question. A lot of phone calls on that, a lot of emails on that. Drag this to the right, 15 days, 30, 45, 60. These are all, this will show you what's coming in on the horizon. Kind of a neat tool. Now you can do it the old-fashioned way. Click on the product, click check inventory, and there's your inventory numbers. We'll always suggest other product, even if that one is in stock, similar products. There's a pretty cool way to do a one-off virtual. Just click this Logo Lab button here, press this button here down, upload art, upload a PNG, Illustrator file, whatever you have. Pick your decoration method, it does it for you, download it, piece of cake. It's a clear background PNG. So if you need pictures for a pop-up store, great place to make them. You can do this in mass. So if you go to a category page and you press this button, plus idea board, you can add products to your idea board. In here, you can do a couple different things. You can email this idea board to a client. You can check inventory. You can do a comparison screen, or you can upload custom artwork. So when I click upload artwork, I'm gonna go to my desktop, demo arts, take a PNG file here, and then what it's gonna do is it's gonna run the virtual for you, just like it would in Logo Lab, like I showed you on the individual page, but this is done in mass. So pick all the products you wanna show, let it go. Take a look, how does it look? If it looks bad with the logo that you picked, maybe don't suggest that product. Maybe it just doesn't have the right logo space for that product. I may be able to do something for you internally. It's a little bit different, but this is a great way to kind of see how will it look, right? And you can change the decoration method in here. So this one here, I want to go, TrueColor is not the biggest decoration method on that product. I'm going to go laser engraving. All right, now we're talking. That looks much better. So I can individually select these or select all, save, share, create idea book. This is going to be a flip catalog that you can send to your clients. Client logo on the front cover, big full color images, product info. You can control that. You don't want to show the price, don't show the price. Take my URL off the bottom if you want. That front cover, you want to change it, click customize cover. You can change the cover. Once it looks good, click create. Upper right hand corner, it says PDF or share. Download the PDF if you want. If you share it, I want you to know it's got my company name in there. So if you don't like that, download the PDF, copy that, send it to your client. There you go, off to the races. You like doing that? Awesome. Go back to starline.com. When you want to start again, do this. Create new board. See up here, idea board 0. Start adding new products in. Do it all over again. I appreciate your time today. I'm going to stop my share. I don't know if my man Marty's going to come back on, but
I'm
if he
here.
does, if there were any questions, I can address them.
So I didn't see any questions, but got a minute or two before Brian wraps it up. But Brian, I just got to say, some really excellent products coming from Starline. It seems like you've really captured kind of the spirit of the trendy retail-inspired gift, and you know, the Spec 15 and all that you've got going on. I think you're making it really easy for members to get some of these really great products in the hand of their customers.
Thank you. I think you nailed it. That really was our angle, and you nailed it a second time with Spec 15. I mean, that's the route to take. Any successful distributor will tell you that look, the going could be good. The phone could be ringing off the hook, and you got a lot of inbound, but you have to dedicate a certain amount of your time to growing your business, and spec samples, and even those idea books that we put together, those flip catalogs, those are simple. It shows the client that you're proactively looking out for them. I ran some suite meetings in Vegas this year, and the number one thing I heard from distributors was, you know, we can grow with you if you proactively work with us. And I think the exact same thing is in play
Right.
for all you guys and your clients.
Oh yeah, I mean, putting together a customized book with the end user's logo on it and on all the products, and it's so simple for members to do that right from your website. So really, that's a great tool that they need to take advantage of.
Thanks, Marty. I appreciate the time. I appreciate you recording this, putting it up for Universal Unilink Nation to check out. Thank you for
Yes.
those that showed up live today. I appreciate your time. And if there's no questions, then I guess we'll call it quits.
Thank you, everybody, for attending, and we'll get some contact information and include that for Brian wherever this goes out.